Hello, today is March 5th, 2025. I'm meeting today with Sam and Sybille Young at Homelake Veterans Home in Monte Vista, Colorado. Sitting in with us as well is their daughter, Mariana. My name is Brad Hoops. I'm the interviewer for Remember and Honor. Welcome, Sam and Sybille. I appreciate you sitting down today to tell your stories.
Thank you.
Let's start out, if we could. We'll go with each of you. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself, your date of birth, where you were born, and a little bit about your family.
I was born in Lawrence County, Kentucky, 1930. And we lived there I lived there for 8 years, and Dad left and went to Ohio because my brother was killed in an accident in Ohio. So he saw how Ohio was, so he went to Ohio, and we moved down. Where we lived was nothing.
In Appalachia area, or
yeah.
And what'd your dad do for a living?
He made whiskey.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Legally, or?
He made whiskey for years.
Yeah.
And so I got to working with him, just watching him.
How did he sell it?
But
How did he sell his whiskey? Just word of mouth, or?
word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the only way to make money.
Right. So this is during the Depression, or the tail end of the Depression.
1930 and 1938.
Yeah. What was life like for you and the family?
We were poor as Job's turkey.
Wow.
We had 165 or 200 acres, something like that. But you couldn't make a living off of it. And he wouldn't sell the timber because we had hardwood, and that's all we had.
And you had one sister and
Three brothers.
three brothers. Okay.
And the one was killed.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was hit by a drunken driver in Columbus.
So when you and the family moved up to Ohio, your dad continued making whiskey there as well then?
No, he quit.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how, but he quit. He had all the equipment. And so it was expensive. I don't know where he ever got it. But I remember him making it.
And you went through the school system there in Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any fond memories of your childhood that stick out that you'd like to share?
Oh, sure. Down in Kentucky, my cousin and I, we hung out together. So we didn't have anything to do in the summer, and we were young, so we just went in the woods and played and boiled eggs and ate them and stuff like that. Stole chickens or eggs from the chickens in my grandpa's farm.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because the whole generation lived there.
Jeez.
And it was nice, but people couldn't make a living.
Yeah, right. Hard
It'd be a
life.
nice place to retire.
Yeah.
And you said that you guys used horses to get around, right? You didn't have a
We used horses to go to town 17 miles away. And if you wanted to go to the doctor, that's where you had to go. And the sheriff was there. We had no law. So it was easy to make whiskey because there was no law.
Yeah. I'll be darned.
And when you first moved to Ohio, you guys didn't live in the same place later that you lived in out by Hilliard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there were at least two different
But
homes in Ohio. Three? Okay.
Three altogether on Dover Road.
Okay, I remember the name Dover, but okay.
Yeah,
But you're rural down in Kentucky. Was it more city life or in-town life in Ohio, or were you out in the country as well there?
It was in the country, but it was in a village like. And Dad built a house there while he was making whiskey and going back and forth. But I don't know how he did it, but he did. And so he built a house. He was pretty good at building and had no blueprints or nothing.
Jeez.
I don't know how he ever did it.
I'll be darned. Yeah.
And did your brothers and sisters and grandma come up to Ohio at the same time, or did they stay in Kentucky?
We all came up in 38.
38, okay.
Did life get better and easier up there, or was it still pretty?
Yeah, it was easier.
Yeah. What'd your dad do once he got out of the whiskey making business?
He went to work in Columbus to a paint company, paint and varnish. And during the war, when the war started, boy, that was hot. They had to have that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's about all I can think of there.
Yeah. Now, your brothers, were they older or younger, or?
I was the youngest.
Young. So now we're kind of getting into the 40s and the war years. Did any of them go off to serve World War II, or were they?
Oh yeah, my brother next to me, he joined right away. He said, "I'm going to go and kill Japs." That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So he joined. He went. When he got his training finished, they all went to England in preparation for the Normandy invasion. And so when they invaded France, he went all through Germany, and then they surrendered. He came home, and they gave him 30 days delay en route. Then they sent him to San Francisco, put him on a ship, and headed for Okinawa to invade Okinawa. And when they were finished there, they loaded him on ships and headed for Japan to invade there. And they dropped the bombs before they got there. So that he spent 15 months in Japan as occupation.
Jeez, wow.
After the bombs had been dropped.
Yeah.
Huh. Boy.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't have come back if it hadn't been for the bombs.
Yeah.
They estimated they would have lost 1 million men in the invasion.
What was it like for you on the? What was life like on the home front for you as far as rationing? And I can't imagine what your mom must have been going through with a son overseas. But what was that all kind of like for you?
It was bad. It wasn't as bad as where my wife came from.
Yeah, we'll jump to her story next year.
Yeah. But we had rationing, gasoline and stuff of that nature.
Sugar and
shoes, sugar, maple syrup, you name it. And so we had rationing. Mom coped with it, but I don't know how. But we lived okay, fine. She was worried about my brother.
Oh, sure, no doubt. Yeah.
Which brother was that, Edwin or Walter?
Ed, yeah.
Edwin? Okay.
Yeah, I never called him Edwin, I called him Ed.
Ed, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you, like I said, went through the school system, graduated then from high school, or?
No? I quit,
Did you?
went to work, and when I got out of the Army, I went back to night school.
Okay. Well, that's where we'll stop your story time for the time being before you enter the Army. We'll talk. Let's get Sybille's story. What we'll do is we'll jump back and forth as we go up through time. So Sybille, tell us. Let's talk about your story. Where were you born and your date of birth, and a little bit about your family.
I was born the 23rd of June, 1929. I was born in a small town And I had a good childhood, except for when the war started.
So you were born in Querfurt, which is close to Halle, which was East Germany.
Okay.
So it wasn't East Germany then,
Yeah,
of
right.
course, when she was born.
Yeah.
So,
Now
so she was
it's
on the
East
other.
Germany.
Yeah.
And well, growing up during the war was pretty unexciting because there was no movie, nothing. We had no kind of entertainment.
Wow.
But how about prior to the war? Like do you have many memories of the late 30s, or was that kind of?
Well, the war started in 39, and I was born in 29, so I was 10 years old when the war started. All I remember is that the young men had to go to the war.
Did you have any brothers and sisters?
My father was drafted.
Your father was drafted, but did you have any siblings? Any brothers and sisters?
I have a brother,
Okay.
but he was too young.
Too
then.
young. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But my father was drafted. But he didn't stay long because he was a veterinarian and the farmers didn't have a doctor now because he was the only one in this part of Germany. And so he was discharged and came back home.
Where was he stationed? Do you remember when he was drafted?
France.
France? Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember
It was
that.
France. He was stationed in France.
He was stationed in France, for a while, that's right.
Okay.
Because he was in Paris when it was occupied.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was just in the occupation. Was no fighting or
No,
anything. Oh, okay.
it was
Yeah.
occupation.
Yeah. Was he able to come back for visits from Paris, or did you not see him for a long period of time?
No, he was gone. Yeah, he didn't come home and furlough or anything. There wasn't. It just wasn't there.
Yeah.
He was gone.
Could I say something?
Yes.
He took care of horses. The German army had a lot of horses.
Right.
They had, I imagine, probably thousands of them. Because I've kept up on my history,
That's right. You're absolutely right.
World War II history.
I have over the years, my mother has I have this cuckoo clock at my house that dates from, and I probably have it in my file here.
1939.
1939, because my grandparents, Oma and Opa, went to, where did they get that cuckoo clock? They were on a little
In the
vacation.
Black Forest.
In the Black Forest. And I know you said something about when they were, there was a point when they had to hurry and get back home, or there were going to be some travel issues because the war was starting to intensify. Was that the Black Forest trip, or let's see? Does that ring a bell at all?
Well, yeah, it rings a bell, but I don't remember any details.
Okay.
And it wasn't so much my grandparents, it was my mother.
It was Oma. Okay.
Your grandparents.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So the cuckoo clock was purchased in Nuremberg in 39. Yeah, the clock was purchased on a family trip, and here I say Treiberg in the Black Forest. So I have two different locations. Every summer, the four of you, every summer the four of you would go on a trip somewhere. You and Uncle Jochen and Oma and Opa would take a little vacation. But then when you guys all got back, Oma and Opa would then just go on a solo trip. Like just by themselves. Does that sound correct?
The two of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so okay, so I have some more stuff from it, and I can send you this.
Yeah.
So in August of 1939, Oma and Opa traveled to Bergen, Norway for vacation. if they hadn't returned before the war began, they wouldn't have been able to get back across the border to Germany. So that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
They just barely made it to come back. I would have been alone for how many years?
Oh, boy.
Wow,
Yeah.
I mean, you may never have found one another again.
Yeah.
Hitler would have taken care of you.
But, well, you weren't Jewish, so, I mean, I hate to say that, but
Yeah,
you
right.
weren't Jewish, so. Oh, you mean taken care of, okay, I thought you were being sarcastic, never mind, sorry. Okay.
So talk a little bit about your childhood then, before, I guess, prior to the war. Was it a normal childhood and
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had a good childhood.
yeah,
Growing up in a small town, that was nice. And even during the war, I mean, we had always enough to eat because the farmers would pay my father in food rather than
right,
money,
yeah.
even though it wasn't allowed, but they did. And during the war, of course, we had the air raids when we had to get up in the middle of the night and go to the basement.
So your village got bombed? Where you lived got bombed, or just precaution? You went.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
a precaution.
Can I explain?
Yeah.
When the 8th Air Force bombed Germany, they went in one way and came out another. And they came right over her section of the country. And if they saw lights,
Yeah.
they dropped the bombs they had left because they could not land with bombs in the
Okay.
bomb bay.
Okay.
So that's the explanation there.
Yeah, yes, when they came back, it was more important for us to be in the basement
Yeah. Okay.
and not have any lights on or anything. And of course, as a kid, we liked it when we when we had when we couldn't or when we were up at night because we didn't have to go to school until
That's what I was
10
thinking.
o'clock the next morning. So we always hoped if they came, it was before 9 and after 5 in the morning.
Now, did as the war became closer, the front lines became closer and closer, did things get worse for you then? Were conditions worse, or was there a point where you had to evacuate? I imagine you were concerned about the Russians coming, maybe?
That was our fear,
Yeah.
because they had such a bad reputation. And so I don't know, so Americans occupied us first.
Oh, so the Americans got to you first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you never had to evacuate your home and leave? You stayed at your home the whole time?
Yes, we did, but it wasn't. It was under peace-like conditions.
Okay.
And then at some point, this is post-war, I mean, we'll probably do that more
Yeah.
chronologically, but they did have to move to West Germany under covert circumstances.
Oh, wow.
So that's,
Political refugees.
yeah, that's a little bit later.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we had to leave our home and had to go west.
Tell him the circumstances, what happened in the period that before they left.
I don't even remember.
You want me to tell it?
Yeah.
Her father was a veterinarian, and he went from farm to farm, and the Russian commander in the district told him he wanted him to spy on the farmers. stuff of that nature. And he said, you have also got a son-in-law that works for the government, so you get some information from him too. And that started the whole thing. And he agreed to it. That's the only way they would release him. So when he got home, they made plans. Somebody they knew, nobody knew his name, but they knew who to contact. And he smuggled them across the border. And then, so to get him back, the Russians put his mother, or his wife, in jail, her mother. And he had to come back or they would keep her. Well, our CIA, just after the OSS released them to the CIA, they made documents, official like documents, and sent to the Russians telling them that he couldn't travel anymore because his heart was so bad he would die. And so they kept her in jail for a little while longer, and then they released her.
Her mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she went home. Then he sent an automobile every night with the lights on, checking all the entrances until daylight. And this went on for a few weeks. But when it was finished, they contacted the guy that took the father, the doctor, across, and they went across. And they came on a Sunday, I think it was, if I remember correctly. Even her father came on a Sunday. And they rung the doorbell and looked down there, and there's her father and her brother. I thought, what the hell are they doing here?
6 o'clock in the morning.
6 o'clock in the morning from East Germany. And that's like relieving the prison. So they explained anyway, they got out, and it was our job. I'm getting ahead of myself now, but it was our job to take care of the refugees, and anybody not from Germany had to be sent back, no matter who they were or what they were. And so only Germans were allowed to stay. And we had 2 refugee camps for them. And
Yeah, let's move this into further along when we jump back to your story. So, how long were you in East? Now they divided Germany. You're now in East Germany. How long were you there before you crossed over to West Germany then? And roughly.
No, I wasn't there very long. Because I was still able to go back and forth.
Oh, you could. Oh, okay.
We were still able to go back and forth, and then I stayed in West Germany, and
you stayed in Berlin. You were in Berlin.
what school?
Is it when? Yeah, it's because I have here. Mother went to Berlin for school when she was 18. The schools where they were living in Querfurt were all communist, which makes me assume that they weren't in Berlin. They were not all communist schools in Berlin. I'm just going by what I say here.
Out in the West.
Yeah, and I don't designate. I mean, since this was a point at which Berlin had not yet been divided. I mean, this was still during the war. This was 37. So you were born in 29, 40, so that also, it was after the war. But yeah, because I didn't make a designation here in my phone, what part of, you were in Dahlem, which was a suburb of Berlin.
Mm-hmm. That's where I went to business school.
Okay. And so that was West Berlin,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you went to a pre-college I have here, and you didn't remember what you studied. But then you got a job at that place where the guy was putting the moves on you.
As a guy was what?
He was putting the moves on you. He would ask you to work on Sunday so he could try to put the move on you when the office was empty. That's what you told me at one point. And she worked full time for him, and she had to bicycle 26 kilometers round trip to get to work.
13-mile one way.
Yeah.
Rain or shine. And your father would drive up in the Jeep.
So with this,
I was soaking wet, and here he came with a Jeep.
so you had met Daddy, but you weren't married yet. I mean, this moment that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Is that right? What year did you get married?
52.
52. Okay. And you went to Berlin, or Opa sent you to Berlin in 1948.
To go to school,
To go to
finish
school.
my schooling, yeah.
I mean, and he also might have wanted you just to get out of Kvafa, kind of being able to read the writing on the wall.
And he sent her there to get her away from the communists.
Right?
Yeah.
So they never left then? They never migrated? Your parents and your brother never went to West Germany? They stayed?
Not yet.
Oh,
They
okay.
did.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that then. So what was, describe for us what you saw while you were in Berlin. I imagine there was still a lot of destruction and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In Berlin, yes. I mean, there were parts of Berlin just barely existed, yeah. It was totally destroyed, and there was one part in Berlin where they had dumped all the debris, and in winter it got snowed on, and the kids used it for sledding, and yeah, it was sad.
Yeah. But were you comfortable enough as far as were you getting enough to eat and a comfortable place to stay, or what?
Yeah, I had a room.
Okay.
In a rooming house.
Okay.
And did you see many, were there lots of people in Berlin by then? Again, had they come out of hiding where they had been? Were there people moving back to the city to kind of, so what, I mean, because I envision it looking sort of like Gaza does now, but maybe not quite as bad.
Yeah.
With, Gaza, the Gaza Strip that Israel has been bombing. I mean, piles of debris,
And rubble.
smashed houses, rubble. Is that still what it was like, or was it slowly improving?
No, it was that way for all the time I was there.
Oh yeah, it
And
was.
and that was how long? I mean, when you say all the
4
time,
years.
4 years. So that would have. So you left when?
We left in 52 when we got
52.
married.
Okay. Wow, man.
Yeah.
The Army told us when we could get married.
What was life like under the Russians? Were you?
Well, I mean, we didn't dare do much.
Yeah.
Food wasn't plentiful. I mean, we had ration cards, but it wasn't much. And life was pretty subdued
Okay.
under the Russians. You never knew what to expect from them.
Yeah.
They didn't need a reason to pick them up.
Did not. No.
Yeah.
No. It probably hasn't changed a whole lot,
Right.
unfortunately. Did Uncle Jochen, was he stationed in Stalingrad? Or did I dream that?
No, he fought in Russia.
In
Your brother did? Oh.
I know his,
Oh,
and
yeah.
unfortunately he died. And I don't know whether any of his but the only recollection I have in my phone, it's more humorous. During World War II, Uncle Jochen, Uncle and then Jochen was his name, his tank was captured while crossing the Elbe River because it got stuck in the mud.
Yes.
And that was in 1944 or so. Patton's Third Army captured him. They were black.
Yeah.
Foot soldiers.
Oh, wow.
And he thought This may not go over well.
Okay.
He thought he was going to be eaten because he had only seen blacks in movies.
Right,
He
sure.
wasn't familiar with
Yeah,
that.
fair enough.
Which, I mean, I remember we laughed at that when we first heard that, but he had been engaged, let's see, he had been engaged at the Russian front, not maritally, but was moved to the Normandy invasion area later. But he never was stationed in Stalingrad, because that would have been too far south.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and Opa wasn't either then. He wasn't in Stalingrad either, okay. I don't know where I got that. Okay.
And my brother, he had never seen black people.
Yeah.
So he thought he was going to get eaten.
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, understandable. Yeah.
He had the best sense of humor. That guy was so funny. It's so sad that he died way too early. Because he was the life of the party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's my best friend.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun.
Well, Sam, let's jump back to your story, back to continue your story. So you dropped out of school, worked for a while, and then were you drafted or did you enlist?
I joined.
You joined,
I was enlisted. I spent my basic training in Jackson, South Carolina.
And you enlisted in the Army, correct?
Yeah.
Now, why did you choose that over the other service branches?
My brother told me.
Oh, okay.
He told me, don't join the Air Force or the Navy because you can walk farther than you can fly or swim. That's how he explained it. So I joined the Army. And so when I was finished training, came home for a while and been assigned to Germany.
Well, now, how was that transition for you, going from civilian life into military life? Was it much of a transition, or pretty easy for you, or what was basic training like for you?
It was semi, because see, I was used to living outside when my cousin and I and all that stuff. And so I wasn't used to it, but it went easier.
Okay, all right.
Because I was used to living outside a lot.
Yeah.
And so we pulled basic training, and when I was finished, they sent me to Germany. And I didn't know where I was going.
Now, did you go over as a unit, or were you going over as a single replacement, or how did you?
I went on a ship.
Oh, okay. Well, that begs the question. And here we got this Kentucky, Ohio boy going to sea. Did you get your sea legs crossing over, or how was that crossing for you?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Too much water. No, I put up with it, but you didn't have any choice. It took us 13 days to go over by troop ship.
Yeah.
2,500 guys on the ship.
Oh boy, stacked in the. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And a lot of people sick.
Oh, no doubt. And did you as well, or did you?
No, I didn't get sick.
No. Huh?
I came close, but I didn't.
Where did you land on the other side?
Bremerhaven, Germany.
Bremerhaven, okay.
Okay.
And then we went from there to a place called Marburg. That's where we got our assignment to where we were going.
Okay.
So my assignment was to Berlin, Germany, for the Special Police Force.
So you're an MP?
Right?
You're a military police?
No, I'm a Special Police.
Oh.
Constabulary. We were peacekeepers. We weren't occupation. We were peacekeepers. And so it was much easier for them and us.
So would you work in conjunction with the German police, or how?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We had to help train new ones because they had fired the ones that were Nazis.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So they were lowest on the totem pole, job-wise. So these guys were good, and they were smart, and they wanted to learn English, and we wanted to learn German. So we got along good. So we put a lot of duty with them.
So you were training them, but how about you?
Oh, I
What
was
kind of
trained-
training did you get?
6 weeks of training.
Oh, okay. All
Police
right.
training.
All right.
How to apprehend people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we could stop anybody anytime we wanted. If we saw fit, we could shoot somebody
Wow.
and nothing said. And so we had law and order, but it was like under the table. And the Germans, they were easy to get along with. So and my patch was this constabulary patch. And we had to treat them as we wanted to be treated. And so that got around to them because there was 1,500 of us. And
1,500 that did all of Berlin? That covered?
Yeah,
Okay.
and but we had no problem.
No. Yeah, but yeah, here it is. Here you're in Germany, where 2 or 3 years prior to that, they were our enemies. They had, there was no animosity. No, the Germans. No.
And I got where I could understand German a lot, and I could listen to people talking in the bars where we would go to. And one time I heard these 3 or 4 German guys at a table drinking beer, and they were explaining, and our tanks had come out from the village, or Berlin, not Berlin proper, but Berlin, and our tanks were the big new ones that they had built before the war was over. And so these guys spoke up, and they were in, I guess, armored outfits in Germany in the war, and they said, "Oh, those tanks don't measure up to ours." And I said to myself, "Well, buddy, who won the war, you or me?"
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you were. So we're talking. You went to Berlin in '48.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was going.
Wow.
When
That
I
must
got-
have.
Just Germany, period, on my orders.
It must have been fascinating. I mean, here's like many of your generation, you really never, growing up, never really traveled too far away from home, and now you're, over in Europe, post-war.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Coming from Kentucky.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'd never seen a plane. I'd never heard one.
Huh.
Didn't know crap about a plane. And they stuck me on a plane in Frankfurt. One guy flew in with a load of coal. And when we landed, or get ready to land to Tempelhof, I looked around, and I'm 18-year-old dumbbelled, saw all this destruction.
Oh,
It's unbelievable to
I can't
me.
imagine. Yeah.
And at my age, I'd
Yeah.
never seen stuff like that. Never even heard of it.
Right. Sure.
And we landed. They picked me up, took me to headquarters, said, "You're now in the constabulary. You're a policeman. In 6 weeks, you'll be an official policeman. But temporarily, you'll be a policeman here. So you work for me. You don't work for the army. You work for me."
Huh.
Oh yeah, it was a big outfit.
Wow.
Who was the person who said that? I mean, you'll
Commanding
work-
officer.
Who? I'm sorry. Who?
Commanding officer.
Oh, what was his name? Do you remember? That's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
Colonel Clifton.
Clifton. Okay.
We had a song about him.
You don't want to hear it.
Don't want to hear it. I can clean it up. We're Colonel Clifton's troopers. We're riders of the night. We're dirty son of a bees. We would rather go out and fight. And more words.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Different words.
Yeah, we don't want to hear it.
But it was a good outfit because you didn't have to do no KP, nothing.
Oh, right. Okay. Uh-huh.
You pulled your duty we had to go to work on the air base on unloading planes. We didn't unload them. We had 13 Germans working for each of us with semis. And they would back up to a C-47 or a C-54, and it wasn't just minutes and that sucker was unloaded.
Are we talking the Berlin Airlift now?
Yeah.
Well, let's back up. How long were you in Berlin before the Russians sealed it off and the Berlin Airlift?
It was sealed off when I went in.
Oh, you did? Okay, so you went right in. So when
Yeah.
you said you rode that coal plane, that the Berlin Airlift had already started then?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just a couple of months ago.
Okay, all right.
And everything had to be shipped in,
Yeah,
everything.
that's right, yeah. Yeah. So you would pull duty, police duty around Berlin, and then when you weren't doing that, you were out at the airport directing the Germans to unload
Yeah,
planes?
we did both. We did everything.
Would you do 2 shifts a day like?
We would do 3 shifts. Like what I did at General Motors too. You did 3 shifts, and then you got a day off, and if you had duty from your day off, you had to pull duty, police duty. But they fixed it up where some of the guys would pull the police duty while we were on the airlift. So it was good duty. It wasn't hard, but in the wintertime, man, it was cold.
Oh, no doubt. I imagine it was long days too. Or would you just do an 8-hour shift? I mean,
7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
wow.
So I got lucky most of the time. I got day shifts, but you had to pull 3 shifts then. They changed it. And so the planes, when that plane was loaded, they had before it was unloaded, they had a PX truck come by with coffee, donuts, and stuff of that nature, all kinds of stuff. And that's the only way that the pilots were allowed to leave the plane. Go down and get the donuts and stuff and come back up. Because they had an air corridor that they had to go out of, and it was timed to where one plane after the other.
Amazing.
And if before they got it organized, it was terrible. Pilots didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
So they
right.
just circled, and get low on fuel. Then they would have to go back to Frankfurt or wherever they came from.
And then you add the terrible weather in Berlin on top of
Okay.
weather conditions and
Oh yeah, they had to buy us new clothes because it was so cold we couldn't take it. And you had to be out in the weather
Yeah.
almost all the time.
Wow.
And you had to go on the plane and get the manifest and check the stuff that went off and count everything and take that in to a place they call the White House. They built a house underneath the airport because this was German air facilities in World War II. So that was the bunkers all underneath, all the way across. And so that's when the Russians left, they filled the interior of it full of water so they couldn't use it.
wow.
Oh yeah, the Russians did.
Yeah.
They did everything they could to bother us.
Well, now, would you, Berlin itself was divided. Would you have interaction? Obviously, you didn't patrol in East Berlin.
No.
Did you have interaction with the Russians at all? No?
They wouldn't talk to us.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Wouldn't associate with
Yeah.
us. We pulled duty with them at 2 places, and they wouldn't even say they looked that we lived. They just ignored us.
Now, would you have had the ability, like on your day off, if you wanted to cross over to East Berlin and look around, or were you forbidden to go?
Strictly forbidden.
Okay, all right.
Strictly off limits. you got caught, the Russian MPs would put you in jail.
Ooh.
And they held one of our guys for 4 months. And when they let him loose, he got a general court-martial and dishonorable discharge from the military.
Wow. Wow.
Because he knew better.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had the Hitler's bunker was just, a few hundred feet inside the Russian sector. We wanted to see it in the worst way, but we couldn't.
Yeah.
The guy said, well, you go over and pay the Russian guard, he'll let you see it. I said, not me, buddy, I'm not going near that place.
Yeah, right, right.
So, I assume that you heard the planes during the airlift period, because you were in Berlin then.
We go be
So you heard them a lot.
day and night.
And how was the food distributed that was brought in, the food and the coal? Did you have to stand in line for it somewhere? Did they, I would think there'd be some logistics there to supply all the people in Berlin who were still there.
I don't remember that.
I think, I'm not positive about this, but I think it was turned over to the Germans, but the Americans worked with them and distributed it. But you had ration cards. It told them how much you had coming on your ration card.
Okay.
If the harder you worked, the more you got on your ration card. So that's why those guys worked so hard on the airlift.
Yeah, right.
Because they knew that they would get more on their ration card.
Yeah, I don't remember it being a problem getting food.
No, it
So
wasn't.
you were, Sybille, you were on the western side of Western Berlin? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, the Germans knew that they would get more food,
Yeah,
but they had to work hard to get it.
well, Germans work hard anyway, I mean, they're hard workers, yeah.
If they were lazy, that's
Yeah.
tough. 'Cause that was known that they didn't do a good job.
But you said that they would clean out a plane pretty quick, I mean, it was,
Oh, gosh, yes, it was unbelievable. Those guys, I mean, they worked like a horse, and no time that plane's clean.
and then the next one shows up, huh?
Yeah.
It was just one right after another?
Oh, yeah, they were lined up. This was a big airport, and it was as big underneath as it was on top. So they had a lot of that stuff stored temporarily so they could move it, because it was poured in by plane loads.
Wow.
C-54s and C-47s, that's all we had back in those days.
Yeah, right, right.
And
Did you witness any of the crashes? I know there was numerous crashes.
they'd lost 30-some guys in airplane crashes. And one crashed right in town.
Wow.
Killed the occupants in the building and plus the
wow.
crew. But they lost a lot. And the Russians would hold them for a while, because when they went down, it was in the Russian territory.
Yeah, right. What was the general feeling then? Were you guys ever concerned that the Russians would come in and invade and take all? I mean, you're really an island and
Oh, yeah. They wanted it in the worst way.
yeah,
They did everything in the world to get us out of Berlin.
yeah.
They would fly in front of the C-47s or the planes going out or coming in. They would fly in front of them as close as they could get without hitting them. This went on continuously, the Russians, and the stuff like that. And if they could stop the airlift, we'd have been dead cold.
Yeah.
So, but General Clay, he was in charge. He was Yukon commander, 4-star general. And he said, we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to stay right here. Because he went to Truman originally when they first started. And he said, I'd like to have the 101st and the 82nd Airborne to make a roadway to Berlin. She said, General, you're crazy. You know what that is? That's World War III. So you go back and figure out something else because you're not going to get that. And that's what they agreed on, an airlift. They had the commander of it came over from, when the Chinese and the Japanese were fighting, this before we even entered any war, they had a bunch of American flyers going over the hump in China, and the general was in charge of it. And so they called him in to run the airlift because the guy that was running it couldn't do it. It was all screwed up.
Yeah.
So he had it organized. And when they came in, if they don't get the landing rights right away, you could take the other corridor and go back out the west where he came from. Of course, you're not going to clog up the airways. So it was real good. They did a good job.
How was the job for you when you weren't out at the airport, when you were actually doing police work? Was it pretty easy work? Or did you ever get into any tough situations?
I never got into a tough situation all the time I was there.
Oh, good. Yeah. And then how long did the airlift go on before?
15 months.
15 months. Wow.
Total.
Wow.
That's a long time.
It is. Yeah, it sure is. At that pace every day, and yeah.
You know, when we first got there, I'm getting back down.
Go ahead. That's okay.
You couldn't get any beer. The Russians stole all the equipment. They stole everything they could get their hands on.
Yeah.
And they had slave labor behind them building a railroad. And they hauled it all back to Moscow. And I read here a few years back in a history magazine, World War II history, that it was still there on a siding in Moscow. Never been used.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they stole stuff that they couldn't use.
Yeah. Right.
My wife knew that. They stole. They didn't realize where water was coming from out of the wall. It was magical.
Wow.
And they slept with their boots on and the beds and all that. Her mother and her had to change the bed clothes and stuff. Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They weren't clean people.
No, not at all.
You know, when they came and occupied our part of Germany, we had to move. Our house had 3 floors, bottom, first and second. We had to move from the second to the third, and then we had to share a kitchen with a Russians, and they knew nothing.
Isn't that?
They didn't know how to turn on the gas stove, and it was mind-boggling, an eye-opener.
Wow.
Yes. But they were easy to get along with, those women. We didn't have any trouble sharing a kitchen with them, except it was so amazing how little they knew.
Now, were you able, when you went to school in Berlin, were you able to go back and forth to your parents' house with no problem? And
No problem.
particularly when the airlift started, were you trapped in Berlin, or could you still go back and forth?
During the airlift, I was in Berlin, wasn't I?
Yeah. All the way.
And you were able to go back to Querfurt then? I mean, were you, as a German citizen, you were able to go from West Berlin to Querfurt to see your folks?
Except it was so inconvenient, I didn't. But I think I would have been able to.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the connections didn't work, and
okay.
Yeah.
They didn't have border patrol and stuff of that nature.
Oh, they
yet.
did? Oh, okay.
They had guards, but they just they stood around.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
If you went across with a certain size bag, a handbag you could carry without being noticed. But if you carried one big bag or a couple bags, they knew that you were leaving.
Ah,
So you weren't allowed. They would stop you. We knew that because that was our job to know. And that's what they did. So the message was passed throughout the people. If you want to leave, don't leave with a lot of belongings, because you will be stopped and arrested. So that's what they did.
Except I had an aunt who was hard of hearing, and she grabbed whatever she could from my parents' place and delivered it to Berlin. And everybody wondered, well, how did you get through? Oh, I just act as if I don't hear them or understand them.
She
And the
didn't.
truth is,
Yeah, yes, I figured it was.
It wasn't a lie.
but it was so funny. People were embarrassed because she talked so loud, so they let her go with all the belongings.
Well, and they probably didn't really know how to communicate with somebody who was hard of hearing, which is still the case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they tried. They got embarrassed
Yes.
yeah.
because they couldn't communicate with her.
And she wasn't quiet.
No, she wasn't quiet on purpose. She was a smart old rascal, but you wouldn't think so.
so do you remember when it was announced that the airlift had been, or that the Russians had dropped everything and the airlift was over? Was that announced, or how did word get put out?
They made an announcement, but it wasn't made to the population yet because they wanted to make sure that it was true.
Oh, right, okay.
So they tried it out. They drove trucks through.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't bring the planes in yet. They drove the trucks through and to make sure, and they had a canal where they delivered stuff by boat through the canal. And so they tried all this before they announced it. And when it was okay, then they announced it publicly.
Okay.
But boy, it was a celebration.
I'll bet, yeah.
Those Germans, they know how to celebrate. And they thought so well of us. Now this is the God's truth. If you went into a bar by yourself and had a drink, and there was Germans in there, they would come over and get you and take you over, and you didn't have to pay a dime. Du bezahlst nicht. Wir bezahlen für euch.
What? Will you say that again?
We will pay for you.
Okay.
And that happened to me a couple of times. They get me drunk and a mucky. And it wouldn't cost me a dime. But that's how they appreciated what we had done for them. Sure. The airlift. And we went back for one airlift reunion in Germany, but they had 6 or 8 of them, I think it was, if I remember correctly, and they all went back for the airlift. And when we went back that time, they had people for everybody that was on the plane. There was some German family picking you up, taking you home, feeding you and doing everything, taking you out to a bar, stuff of that nature. They took us out to a bar, and you drink what you want, no problem. It's all paid for by the guy that took you. The guy that took us, he was a businessman. He could speak English, and he had a Mercedes, and he drove like an idiot. Remember that? But he'd turn around in the middle of the street, which was forbidden. But it was an experience you'll never forget.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. Well, let's get to probably the most interesting part of this whole story: how you two met and how you wooed her and how that all how started.
A blind date.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy came in one Friday night, and it was GI night. That's the night we had to shine all of our Sam Brown leather, pistol holster, and all that stuff. All your brass, all your everything for inspection the next morning. And when the old man inspected, he inspected. And he said, I got a problem. He said, I got a girlfriend and she's got a girlfriend and nobody there except me. I got to have somebody come with me. You gonna come?
Yeah.
So he talked me into it. I didn't want to go because I had to get this stuff done
Oh,
before
yeah.
tomorrow morning. And so I went, and that's how we met.
So this was Johnny Seaback from New Jersey, and who also married a German woman, Katie. Katie is what we called her, and they were best friends. So
Yeah, we went to school together.
yeah, he's now deceased, but she's still alive. She has probably advanced Alzheimer's, but she's still in New Jersey. Yeah.
He was no good.
Had the airlift ended by this time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were, no, I'm not sure. I think so. I think so. Because we had, all the drivers were scheduled to haul damaged vehicles out to West Germany. And we had travel orders to go through the Russian checkpoint and Russian. And I think it was over by then. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's okay.
I
Well, yeah.
wouldn't swear.
Because this, what I have in my phone is that you guys met on November 20th of 1948.
Yeah.
Which was Curtis' birthday.
Okay, and so if you got to Germany in 48, I would have thought, I guess the Berlin Airlift was still going on, you said.
It was started,
Yeah. Okay, just,
but I don't think, maybe it wasn't over yet.
Doesn't sound like it
Anyway,
from the timeline. Sounds like it was still
Yeah,
going
I
on
can
when.
see.
Yeah.
It came back to me when she mentioned it.
Yeah.
And so we had to haul these damaged vehicles, all kinds, military.
Okay.
And we went through the Russian zone, and we had orders not to stop anywhere on the turnpike or freeway, Autobahn match. And the lieutenant in charge, when we got started, he said, we'll stop wherever the hell we want. He said, none of their damn business where we stop. Oh, he went, he raised the devil.
Wow.
And so we did. We stopped at one point, and there was a Russian convoy on the other side going the other toward Berlin. And I didn't count the vehicles, but I watched them all. And every single one was made in USA.
Yeah. On the Lend-Lease program.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any. The Russians didn't have any.
Right.
Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't have a pot to pee in.
so you guys met in November of 48 and you got married in 1951. Right, okay. And how many, did you speak English fluently then?
School English.
Yeah.
School English? I mean, but
Sure
you could
did.
make one another understood, you could understand him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I would have thought that would have been difficult because he probably spoke with, with a lot of slang in Kentucky and, not high English. So was that difficult to understand or not?
I don't remember. We were in love.
You were?
Yeah.
So we understood
Did you realize right away that you were in love, or did it take some time, or?
No, it took a while.
Yeah.
It didn't take too long.
No.
But I couldn't. You were so sarcastic. You were not very nice.
I was a policeman.
So that doesn't mean you have to be sarcastic, just because you're a policeman.
We answered thoroughly and not friendly.
And do you have any more questions about that part? I mean, well, because I don't,
Yeah.
I don't, that's a part that I don't have any information about.
Yeah.
You know, that between 48 and 52, really.
So what would you guys do when you went out on dates? What would you do for entertainment? What would be some things to do?
Was nothing to do.
Yeah.
Because we went to the movie quite a bit.
Well, yeah, we had American movies we go to, our movies. We had two.
And that was just about the only
That's
thing,
about
wasn't
it.
it?
You did nothing else.
Did you drink, Mother? Were you a drinker, or did you not drink much?
No.
No, I wasn't a drinker.
No? Okay.
I drank enough for.
Well, that's what I figured, yeah. Yeah. And Oma and Opa did not meet Daddy until when?
I imagine he couldn't go to visit them, no?
Oh, no.
Yeah, they would come.
I wanted to
Yeah,
bad, but
yeah.
it's strictly
When-
forbidden.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you met my parents?
Because I have here that your parents left Querfurt for West Germany in 1951.
But they came over a few times before they
You-
were got in trouble
I mean,
with the Russians
they came over to Berlin, okay.
on visits.
And so that's when you got to meet them.
Yeah, that's when I met the dog they had.
Potso?
Also,
didn't like Americans.
And he hated
Hated them.
Americans.
It was a little short, well, a long-haired Dachshund.
Dachshund, yeah.
Yeah.
And he would,
No, it wasn't long hair, it was about like that.
Well, yeah.
the Americans would walk through our hometown at night, and they would surprise the dog, and they scared him, and so he barked at anything with a uniform, and he got barked. That was so funny.
I think it was the 82nd Airborne was Gardner.
And you tried to make up with him, and he wouldn't.
They had patrols at night and in curfew, and nobody was allowed out and all.
So your parents eventually went to West Germany then? They left East Germany? Did they do it legally, or did they smuggle across the border, or?
They smuggled across the border.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy, yeah.
And that was, so they left their home like they were just going on a day trip
Gotcha.
somewhere. They couldn't take, because they
Yeah.
couldn't take a bunch of stuff
We relocated them to West Germany.
to a little town called Blyov.
We had to fly them out because they couldn't go by train or anything because it had been picked up.
So they came to Berlin first and then flew?
Yeah,
And so when you said we had to fly them out, that was the army?
yeah.
The army, okay. So if the army had not been involved in this, they would have just become East German citizens.
They would have come probably Russian.
Russian,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Wow, okay.
They'd been another satellite,
Yeah,
but they weren't very good people.
yeah. So how long did you date before you finally asked her to marry you?
Well, the problem is, no matter when you met, you couldn't get married.
Oh, right, okay.
The Army told you when you could get married. And they called me one night and said, "This is Colonel so-and-so. You and your wife will get married tomorrow morning at Manera Barracks at 10 o'clock.
Really?
No questions asked."
How romantic.
And same way when they sent her to the States. I got a call. "Your wife is scheduled to leave in 3 days for the United States. She will better be there, and if not, you pay the bill."
Wow.
I said, "Well, how about me? That's your problem."
You mean,
And this was a full colonel
Yeah.
talking.
how about you? When were you gonna go back to Ohio? Was that your question?
Well, I was going to go with her.
Oh, but you thought you were.
No, I thought, no, I don't think I even thought I would.
Okay.
Because military doesn't operate that way.
Right.
My time wasn't up.
Right.
I had about 2.5 months left.
So she returned to the States before you did?
Yeah,
Oh, boy,
by
that must have
herself.
been hard.
Didn't know anybody.
Oh,
And
boy.
her, and you, yeah, it strikes me as being a really horrible situation.
Yeah.
Because well, according to what we've learned, and we've gotten differing impressions of that, my grandma, Pansy, my dad's mother, had designs on a local woman who was supposed to marry Sam. That's who she had her eye on.
Oh, boy.
So she was not pleasantly disposed toward my mother. You know, and then, I mean, you think about my mom having this level of English, and Pansy and my grandpa were, I mean, they were from Kentucky.
Yeah.
They spoke with a drawl, sort of. And I think back to that frequently, how hard that must have been
Oh,
to
I
live
can't
with them
imagine,
for
yeah.
whatever period of time. You know, when they didn't like you really, and you were by yourself.
Well,
They
you know,
didn't dislike her.
yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't that they didn't like me, but I was so different.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they probably hadn't been exposed to anything like you
You
before.
know. That's,
And,
yeah.
And you were going to a place that you weren't familiar with
That's
and
right.
customs
I mean,
and,
it was just really strange.
oh, boy.
Everything was new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the paperwork and the red tape? Was that very hard getting everything processed as far as getting married and her
Yeah.
becoming a citizen, going to the States? Was that involved, or was that pretty easy?
The government did most of that.
Oh, okay.
I think the biggest part was her going along.
Yeah.
And that really bothered me, but nothing I could do about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried.
so how long after Mother got to the U.S. were you able to
2.5 months, wasn't it?
How much?
Couple of months.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
okay.
It was
So-
about 2.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's not
'Cause
terrible.
I had 12 days on a ship.
Oh, so you took a ship back again?
Had to.
Oh,
Now they fly them.
yeah.
And then when he finally came to Columbus, he was going to get discharged in Louisiana,
Camp Polk.
Camp Polk, Louisiana.
Oh, jeez.
So both he and I, he drove because I couldn't drive.
My dad's car.
Your dad's car went to Camp Polk, Louisiana, and I didn't know how far that was. I thought maybe 5 hours. It was 5 days.
It took us days to get there. Because back then, no freeways.
Yeah.
Country road,
Yeah.
boy.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, you probably didn't have good maps. It's not like you had anything on a phone. You had, I don't even know what you would have had to get there.
Maps.
I know, but just,
Yeah. Yes, I know. We drove forever and ever and ever before we got there.
I wouldn't live in that place if they would give me the whole state of Louisiana.
So you got discharged out
Yeah,
in Louisiana?
Took me a month to get discharged, those dumb bells.
And it was in July.
Oh.
Oh, gosh,
I'd
it
stay
was
in a guest house on base,
hot,
and it was like sleeping in
humid.
a steam bath.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we came from Berlin where we wore a sweater everywhere we went.
Yeah, we wore ODs, we didn't have khakis.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, oh, I didn't mention, we were forbidden to wear civilian clothes
when? When?
in Berlin.
In Berlin.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
And so if you were caught wearing civilian clothes, you got a court martial. Possibly stockade duty.
Ooh.
Well, they were strict. We had spit and polish, you name it. We were in elite outfits, what we were, to get along with the Germans and they get along with us. So we were trained that way.
Yeah.
And everything we did, we had to get permission originally. But otherwise, you're on your own. Because most of the Jeeps didn't have radios. So nothing you could do, you couldn't call anybody. No radios, nothing.
Wow.
Didn't even have walkie-talkies. You know those ones that,
Yeah, right.
they didn't have those even, nothing. But we got along. The guys in the zone had it real bad. They had to go out and stay for 5 to 10 days at a time, and sometimes longer, and live on the, they had to buy their food. The Army paid for it, but they had to have buy their food and live that outside that long. And one group, I knew him personally, and he got him and his outfit got caught by the Russians. They were out of the territory.
Oh, jeez.
They were over in the east, and the Russians held them for about a week, which they were good at that.
Well, let's move on now. You get discharged from the Army. Let's talk about your post-military years, what you guys did for a career and where you lived, and talk a little bit about family, and we'll slowly but surely start to wind down the interview.
Well, I got discharged, and I was 2 weeks, and I finally got a job at the Pennsylvania Railroad. She was already working.
You guys went back to Ohio
Yeah.
from Louisiana? Okay.
Yeah, I went back to Ohio, and we lived with our parents, my parents.
Okay.
How long did you live with them?
I don't know. That part I don't know.
Good.
I imagine when I worked for the railroad, probably because I had to have a telephone and had to be close by.
You had to have a car.
I didn't have a car, couldn't get one.
Oh, because it was a strike or something.
Steel strike was on.
Steel strike.
They
Oh,
weren't
okay.
making any.
Huh.
So I couldn't get a car, and I put an order in, but it took
Maybe.
a long time to get one.
And we lived in downtown Columbus. yeah.
Oh, that was where Grandma and Grandpa lived?
No?
No.
No. We lived in an apartment
Oh, you mean after you,
close to the university.
after you
Was
finished
that-
living at your parents'? Okay.
After we left Mom and Dad.
Okay.
And I was working on a railroad, and I had to take a bus to work because I had no vehicle.
And I worked at Nationwide, and I had to take a bus.
So she worked at Nationwide Insurance her whole career.
Oh, wow.
And how long were you at the railroad?
6 weeks.
Okay, and then,
I got hurt on a
Right.
job, so I left.
and so then you pursued work with General Motors,
General Motors.
with the Fisher Body Division,
And I worked there 30 years.
which was on the west side of Columbus. Yeah.
But and I made good money after a while, but when I first hired in, on night shift, I made $1.39 an hour.
Was that a living wage then? I mean, it sounds awful
Yeah.
now, but were you able to live off that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we could buy a sack of groceries for a week.
And I
for
made
10 bucks.
Okay.
I made $19 an hour.
No,
A week.
A week.
wow. You should have been a billionaire.
$19 a week. We didn't have much money, that's for sure.
So how did you get work with Nationwide? Do you remember if you answered a classified ad or how you ended up working there?
It was by reputation, yeah. Somebody mentioned it.
Okay,
She
that's
went
all
to
right.
work-
That
Yeah,
was a long time ago.
Yeah.
She went to work before me.
yeah. I went to work before he did.
I could have taken a year off, and the Army would have paid me. Oh, see, it was, what was the price?
5220 Club? The
5220,
5220?
that's what it was.
Uh-huh.
What's
I
that?
forgot.
$20 a week for 52 weeks.
Oh, huh, wow.
Which, I mean, back then, $20,
Yeah.
it's free.
Yeah.
And so eventually you moved to a house, versus
Yeah,
an-
after a few years.
a few years,
Yeah, first we moved into an apartment.
right, and then after that
We
eventually.
went into a dump over by the university, so I could get to work at the Pennsylvania Railroad.
Oh, and that was a place that had rats, didn't it?
Oh, had rats
Oh.
that big as a cat.
It had rats. And I told your father about it, that it had, we don't have any rats. And he got up at night and a rat ran across his foot.
Boy,
That's when he believed that we had rats.
you could watch them out in the trash cans. And I had drums going in and out, in and out.
We have a budget, a budget book from when they lived early in their marriage. And, I mean, they recorded everything in this budget book, and newspaper, the daily newspaper, the bag of groceries. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
I can't imagine anybody doing that now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, $10 for a bag of groceries,
That was a
Wait.
lot. That sounds like a lot of money for a bag of groceries back then.
well, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew we should never spend more than $10 a week. You remember that?
Yeah,
Uh,
I remember that.
And then when you got on with GM, we had insurance via GM, or did you both have insurance, health insurance?
We both had health
Both
insurance.
had,
Okay.
And you'd said earlier, when we first started, that at this point then too, you went back to night school as well on top of it
Yeah.
to finish your schooling? Yeah,
I got a good job at GM.
yeah.
I eventually got into skilled trades. Boss came around one day and said, I got an offer for you on a new job. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, well, read it. He gave me a form to read, and I read it. I said, well, I don't know anything about sheet metal. He said, well, damn it, that's why it's on the job training. That's the way he talked. I said, let me think about it for a couple hours. Well, yeah. And I did, and so I figured, well, hell, I might as well. I got to work here anyway. There's more money.
Yeah.
So I made good money, a good job. It was hard sometimes, but I worked with a bunch of good guys, and it was easy to work when you worked with a bunch of nice
Sure.
fellows.
Yeah.
I remember one time I came in with rental uniforms. I was wearing one. And they looked at me and said, oh, well, here comes Sanitary Sam. I told him he go to hell.
That was the end of the uniform.
It was rental. I rented them every week.
So you both had long careers in insurance and at GM.
30 years.
30 years, yeah.
We both worked for the same I for General Nationwide and he for General Motors. Never changed, never.
Yeah, you just don't see that nowadays. One company your whole career.
Yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
I started at the very bottom, $19 a week, I think.
I started at the bottom too.
And it's, oh crap, what was I gonna say? Oh, and they both are still collecting annuities, pensions from Fidelity for their retirement, which I just keep laughing about that because I'm sure that those guys are saying, God, aren't they ever gonna die? We've been paying out since '82. And then Medicare, since it was instituted,
Yeah.
Social Security, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
We've been retired for 40 years.
Longer than you worked,
Yeah,
yeah. Good
right.
for you.
Oh, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
But they got, the day I retired, I signed a statement that I get my benefits, full benefits and everything when I retire. And that's on record. So that was promised in
I see.
writing. And the
Yeah.
UAW has
And I
got the
get a link.
paperwork.
And I get a raise every year.
Yep.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, we can't complain.
So
When
my
we-
sister was born in 1955.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I was gonna say, let's
Yeah.
talk family now.
So 1955, Diddy was born, Christina, and then I was born in 57.
Yeah, and then
So
I took time off and the kids, I could work for 7 months. And then I took off the 2 months, 3 months to stay home with the kids for 4 weeks, and with both kids. And then we had a babysitter, did we?
Well, I remember the
Sam
babysitter
was the
later, but initially I don't remember what you did
Sam
with
was
us.
the babysitter.
Yeah, because you guys did split. You guys did different shift work, didn't you?
Yeah, see, I could get on any shift I wanted.
Yeah.
We
And
took
so
turns.
I was on day shift and she was on nights at Nationwide because they offered her a job, a better job at working at nights for a long time. So I would take care of the kids
Yes, it did.
and while she was working, she took care of them during the day.
But believe me, after a while, it was very upsetting. Oh, the kids would break this and they would tear up this because he was in the garage and the kids were in the house.
I was building a garage.
Yeah, he thought, oh, let's do it.
I came in one night and the house was black inside.
Uh-oh.
I said, oh, for crying out loud. Because popcorn,
Oh.
Oh,
popcorn burnt
Oh, no.
and it destroyed the baker, so we had to throw it away.
and that was because the kids didn't have any supervision.
Yeah.
I was outside digging a footer for the garage.
And he forgot about the inside.
My dad helped me build a garage.
And
Probably
which-
once again with no blueprints, huh?
Yeah.
So that was which place? Was that on Parma?
First place.
On
Eastfield.
Law.
Eastfield. Okay. Okay.
I bought a house on GI Law.
Oh, so you did use the GI Bill, good.
Yeah, and so it was a good deal.
Good, good.
So that's what we were doing.
And then how long were you there? On Eastfield?
9 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then was Parma Avenue the next place? Okay.
And we upgraded to a nicer house, not in another neighborhood.
And that's kind of where I remember. I mean, I don't remember Eastfield really. Diddy
No,
might,
you
but I don't.
You wouldn't. I barely remember it.
Yeah. And we used to walk to school. My sister and I would walk to school.
That's where the Opa was at the front door one day. No, he was we were watching television, Cowboys and Indians. And he was talking about the Indians, and her mother went to the front door. She thought the Indians were coming. she didn't let that down.
That's what in Germany, when you talk about Indians, well, you see the Indians.
Yeah.
And
Well, yes, because they watched westerns.
Right,
You know, that,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, where they come
Oh,
thundering up on their
because we
horses.
laughed about it, and she was, I think she was embarrassed about it, but she laughed too. Oh, shut up.
How did that work between now having careers and children and money probably not all that tight? Were you able to go back to Germany very often, or did your
Oh yeah, she went.
I went quite a
oh did you
Yeah.
yeah
I mean, that's what I worked for, money to go to Germany.
yeah
And we got to spend a summer there once, my
Oh,
sister
good.
and I.
Oh,
Wasn't
wonderful.
that most of a summer?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was so great. Yeah.
They couldn't speak German or English, and they couldn't speak German, so they all got together with those German kids
Well, we actually, we did speak German at home. I mean, so we could speak we could speak enough to hold a conversation with the kids. I don't remember that ever being an issue, because we did grow up speaking German first, and then
Huh.
English.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that, Mary,
that's-
because when you guys came back the first or second time, and you cried because you didn't want to go to school because you couldn't speak
I
English.
can't
Oh.
speak. You cried, I don't want to go to school. I can't speak
Oh,
English.
wow.
Yeah, that's a great disadvantage to have.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, that was so funny. We laughed about that very often.
And my mom's parents lived on the Bahnhofstrasse, which is the railroad street, and it was a gravel road. And it was the old. I mean, I guess it was used to be lived in by the old train operator. Because it was right on the railroad tracks, and it was a neat place to live.
Oh yeah, you enjoyed.
Yeah, I love the Bahnhofstrasse.
Yeah.
And there were just so many memories. I mean, more memories from Germany than from the U.S. I mean, until we moved from the city out into unincorporated Franklin County. And then we, I think, got more memories. But Germany has the strongest memories.
Oh, wow.
At least it
Wonderful.
does for me.
The place that her parents moved to originally, when refugees, that's where the Battle of Ode started from.
Oh, wow, okay.
That whole community had nothing. Had no roads, nothing to amount to anything. No railroads, nothing. So when the Battle of Ode started, they had to have all this equipment come in. So they built new roads all over the whole place. And that's where the roads came from. And the place that her parents lived in for a while, they had right next to it was a bunker. And it was, what was that field marshal's name?
Whose name?
Field marshal.
A German one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you talking about
That
Rommel?
was his headquarters.
Gerling?
Rommel?
Field Marshal Gerling? No.
No, it was an older guy. I can't
That's
think
okay.
of it.
Yeah. Huh, wow, wow.
But that was his headquarters because there was a sign downstairs in that bunker. That's what it was. It was
Yeah,
a bunker.
yeah.
It wasn't a base, but it was a bunker.
Right?
And it had, you know how they had the buildings inside, new ones, bunkers. They had slits, and they were on an angle, top and bottom, and there was only enough room for a rifle to go up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I recognized it, and I saw his name.
Wow. Wow.
And I can't think of it.
Oh, well. Maybe it'll come to you.
So your parents went on to have a good life in West Germany?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And your brother had a good life?
I think so.
Yeah, he didn't have any kids. He and his wife, Tante
better than the
Krista.
East.
What'd you say?
Anything's better than the East.
Oh,
yeah.
But yeah, they had a
Sure.
really nice home that they eventually built in that newer house in Blyov. You know, that was the other side of
Oh, yeah,
town.
that was rental property.
Oh, that was rental? I didn't know that was rental. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a nice house.
Yeah.
So after they left, and they lived, so while I remember them living in 3 places in Blyov prior to that, and then going to that newer
It was
place.
a new home that
Okay.
a guy had built, I think 3 of them, I remember. And he rented them out.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't charge a heck of a lot, so
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't too bad. But got oil, they had a room downstairs in the basement next door to the furnace full of oil tanks
Where was this?
down and where they lived.
In that house?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, they had a room downstairs full of oil tanks.
Oh, I see where they stored them. Okay, sorry. Okay.
It didn't store it, it was used.
Okay,
It was expensive. And it's heat, hot water heat. That's expensive.
Yeah.
You gotta heat the water first. Then you get the heat.
and they used to come visit us also, as you already gathered, and they came, so my parents eventually moved from inside of Columbus to the rural part. And my father built the house along with some contractors, I guess. And they would come visit, and they came and visited while that house was being built. Because we used to go, and it was really hot and humid in Ohio in the summer also,
Yeah.
not as bad as Louisiana.
Yeah.
But we used to go walking with my grandfather because he always walked. And you know, he wore sort of a top hat, not the real tall one, but kind of a roller, like a, you know what I mean, sort of. And then he always carried a cane,
Yeah.
dressed really nicely to go for a walk, not in
Yeah.
jeans or anything. And I bet we looked really funny, you know, just these two little kids and this guy who looked like he was not from Ohio, walking on Doherty Road. Yeah.
They were walking one day on the road, and this millionaire lived out there, and he had an airport, his own airport. His name was John Galbraith. And he stopped to pick them up because he thought they needed to ride.
Oh, yeah.
And they got across to him that they were out for a walk. And old John Galbraith, he was that way. He would stop on the road if he saw us and stop and talk.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a nice old guy.
Yeah, he owned lots of
And
land.
he was loaded.
So what we'll do now, let's finish off the interview. You say you've been retired now for 40 years. Talk a little bit about your retirement years and what you've done, and then we'll close down our interview today.
Well, we retired on a Friday, and the vehicle was loaded already. A largest U-Haul they had, the largest trailer they had, and two guys that I worked with used to work for a moving company, so they knew how to load a vehicle, and they filled that sucker up. I mean, they filled it up. And then when I drove it in the trailer, and she drove the camper, had a freezer in it how old was the dog then? 16 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, well, wasn't he born in
Spook,
'63?
Our dog.
Yeah, yeah, oh, wow.
So on the way out west,
64?
we had two misfortunes. We had to stop and have the truck worked on because the lights wouldn't work off and on, off and on, off and on. We had that fixed. The next one was a trailer, got a flat tire. Had to call U-Haul and come and get that fixed. So it took us over a week to travel out to Salt Lake City.
Now, why did you decide to move to Salt Lake?
She was
Well-
injured in an accident, and we thought we went out there all 4 seasons. We got to liking it because it was dry and it wasn't too hot.
Right?
And it was better than here because the weather, 5 minutes later, you turn your head and it's changed again. But when you saw clouds coming in Salt Lake, you can figure on it's going to have some rain.
Yeah, it was, back then it was still a nice, really small city in '82.
Yeah, it was a nice place to live.
And they had a rental initially.
$350 a month.
Yeah. And then, I don't remember how long you were in the rental, but they were looking for homes to buy, and then they
6
found
months. I was in there. We were in there about 6 months.
okay, and then they found a house that,
I wanted a fixer-upper.
Yeah,
and it was.
That was my hobby.
yeah.
So we spent about 6, 7 years getting that in order. And we lived there 30 years or more in that house.
83 to.
And that was a nice neighborhood.
It was a great neighborhood, yeah.
When we bought the house, we didn't know it because what do you call it?
The benches? Was the,
Dirty air.
oh, the smog that builds up
It
now,
was
yeah.
so bad that one time, and that's when we bought the house. And we didn't know we were buying in a nice neighborhood. And we found out later.
Oh, great. And you were there 30 years, you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
She said over
From
30.
83 until 19.
Ah.
83 until 2019.
And we upgraded that house, it was perfect condition.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wasn't nothing wrong with it. And we sold it, they wanted 82,000, and we offered them 76, 1,000 cash from I had back east. And they hem-hawed around for a couple, 3 weeks, finally agreed to it. But the house was in bad shape. She'd been a widow for years, nothing been done to the house. It had, I couldn't even name all the things that were wrong with it.
Kept him busy.
Yeah, you didn't have to worry about loafing.
Yeah, right?
So I'm just gonna list some things that you guys did when you were retired that I remember. So they, both my sister and I worked in national parks in Yellowstone and Grand Teton, and then she traveled with her husband, who was a permanent employee with National Park Service. So we spent a lot of time in national parks. So my parents spent a summer working at Tower Junction in Yellowstone. They did some backpacking in the Uintas. Did you work anywhere else in Yellowstone, or just Tower?
Tower.
But did a lot of hiking.
Every weekend went hiking.
Yeah, you did a huge amount
nice.
of volunteer work in Salt Lake for the churches that you were members of.
We were never bored.
Yeah, no, you were never. I mean, yeah, but I don't remember what other. That's primarily what I remember. And they had a Volkswagen camper, so they traveled to a lot of parks and went to Alaska on a ferry with the camper.
There was no park in Utah, I don't think, that we missed.
Oh,
State or federal.
Yes, and we went to Alaska,
And we went to Alaska.
which was nice.
We took a ferry with the camper to Alaska, and we got off at Haines, and we drove all over the place.
Oh.
I don't think there was any place we missed at Fairbanks, and we didn't want to go to a city, because we lived in one. And so when we were finished, we started driving home on the Alcon Highway.
Ah.
And you get a book, and back then it was a small one,
The milepost.
and they give you everything, every place that you could stop. They miss nothing.
Yes, it is a most wonderful book.
Yeah.
It would tell us you're coming up on an intersection and there usually is a bear. Sure enough, there was a bear.
And it must have been exciting for you, Sybille, to growing up watching Western movies and the cowboys and Indians. Now you're in the West, you know.
Well, that was the best, I think it's about the best trip we ever made.
Yeah,
Yes, it was a good trip.
yeah.
And then this is, I mean, and this is a little bit different than but in 1988, we went back to Germany right before the wall came down and went to Querfurt, to the East German town. I mean, we had to apply for the visas and everything, permission to go into East Germany, and it was a big deal.
It took 6 months to get permission.
Yeah, and that was a pretty neat experience, because you got back to Querfurt and you hadn't been there.
Where I was born.
Yeah, where you were born, so that was pretty cool. And that there were still bullet shot
Holes and-
signs of bullet holes in the building that you lived in. But that was a neat experience to go to East Germany. But this trip to Germany was neat because we also saw some schoolmates of yours, Klein and Gross. Klein are the two, the kids. You called them Gross something and Klein something. Remember the two kids who you went to school with in East
Klein
Germany?
still,
Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
so kids that for decades
Wow.
before. And got invited to people's homes, and there was even a community dinner, I seem to remember, that they gave for us.
Yes.
Americans were, which strikes me as weird, Americans were looked on as really wonderful. And I experienced that every time we went to Germany. We were looked upon like, holy cow, look at these people who came to visit us, and we had special names that they gave us, and yeah, it was pretty neat. You felt like you were sort of the center of attention with every visit.
You know where they came from?
Well, no, I really don't, since we defeated Germany.
We had constabulary all over Germany.
Uh-huh.
They were in every village in the whole part of West Germany.
Huh.
And they did the same thing we did in Berlin. Treat the Germans as you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it came from. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. Well, as we start to wind down this interview, is there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about? Any stories that have floated to the top that you wanted to tell so that we complete your story? And Mariana, anything you could think of that we've left out that you would want to include in this tape?
No, except I wish Uncle Joachim could have lived longer, because it would have been great to have gotten his. But I remember you went back to Germany for both of your parents' funerals, right?
No, one.
Oh, only one?
We didn't go for Opa.
Didn't go for Opa, okay. No, I know that there are some things that you have said. I'm looking forward to listening to it, because I think that'll jog my memory,
Yeah.
some little areas that weren't quite clear. Like, I'm still really interested in what Berlin was like in that
right.
period right after the war, and I've read some books on that, but I just think that would be a kind of a horrific.
Yeah,
But outside of that, and we saw my parents a whole lot during retirement, both my sister and I, because we all spent time in Wyoming, where the two national parks were that we worked at. Yeah, they're wonderful. Yeah. Got to move them from the house to the assisted living place, and then from the assisted living place to here. Those were adventures.
Yeah.
Which was kind of amazing that we pared down the house
Yes,
with
no, we
3 or
have
4
nothing.
bedrooms to the little, well, you don't have nothing, but you have a lot less.
But we don't have much.
No, you don't have much.
You know the old saying, don't have a pot to pee in here.
You better be careful, it's a tape.
It's your tape, so. Yeah. Oh, well, you were right in the beginning when you said you guys could write a book. What a fascinating story,
Oh, gosh.
the life you've lived to this day.
We
Yeah.
didn't tell everything because we
Yeah.
didn't remember it all.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And there probably wouldn't be enough battery.
I mean, that trip to Alaska, coming back, we needed fuel. The camper used diesel. And so I stopped at this station, it said on the milepost. We stopped there and he said, don't have any, the truck hasn't come yet.
Oof.
And he said, but you're in luck. There's a logging camp down 10 miles from here. They've got fuel and everything. Whatever you want, they've got, which they did. So we waited, stopped at the campground, was run by we were in Canadian territory, and it was run by the Canadian Park Service. And so they collected their fee, told us we were welcome and stuff like that. We stayed there overnight. Well, we never slept in a motel except 3 times.
Yeah.
We were in our Volkswagen camper, and so we stopped. We finally found the place to stop, and it was a logging camp. And that's how big it was, the logging. They had a grocery store, they had a beer joint, and a gas station, and I don't remember what else. And we took a tour on a ferry one day up one of the canals, which these Mr. Monster Canals. And I saw this flag, American flag, and a water tank. I said, hell, that must be an army tank. So I asked a steward. He said, no, it's a logging camp. They had their own water tower and flag up and all that stuff.
Huh. Wow.
And we're out in the middle of God's country.
Yeah, right. Wow. Well, Sam and Sybille, I want to thank you very much for sitting down to tell your fascinating story today. And Sam, I want to thank you as well for your service to our country.
No problem. Thank you for thanking me. I appreciate it.